What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. I hope you're all doing very, very well. I just wanted to do a quick video talking about Veneration, this talent for Holy Paladin, and why it's so good, and why I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. I think the Holy Paladin community is kind of waking up to how good this is now, and there's a lot of reasons why this is so incredibly strong right now from a healing perspective. So, first and foremost, let's read what it does, okay? So, Hammer of Wrath now heals up to 5 injured allies for 200% of the damage done, split evenly among them. Flash of Light, Holy Light, and Judgment critical strikes reset the cooldown of Hammer of Wrath, make it usable on any target regardless of health. So the exact same effect that you get if you're within wings. So a couple things right away. Hammer of Wrath is an incredibly cheap spell, okay? It's a very, very cheap spell that you have that does decent damage. It does 40,000 holy damage. Okay, just baseline with my current item level, which is 498. Okay, this is without critting, of course. So you throw this, it does 40,000 damage, and then 200% of that is going to heal up to 5 injured allies split among them. Okay, so 200% of 40 it's times 3, right? Instead of times 2. So it's 120,000, and then it splits it. That's without critting. So it can go to 240,000 healing, split evenly among people. So if one person needs lots of healing and somebody else doesn't, then they'll get most of the healing and the other person won't, right? So it has that kind of smart heal attached to it. This is incredibly powerful because of some of the other scaling modifiers that we have, most notably Avenging Wrath. So Avenging Wrath, when you pop wings, it gives you 15% more damage and 15% more healing, and it activates the ability to use Hammer of Wrath, right? You can't use Hammer of Wrath unless you're in wings or unless someone is in execute. So when you pop wings, you're getting damage, healing, and I'm getting extra crit chance on my other spells. Remember, if Veneration says if Flash of Light, Holy Light, or Judgment crit, it gives you a free charge of Hammer of Wrath, okay? And it resets its cooldown and letting you throw it again right away. So inside of wings, you are doing, it's not just 15% more damage and healing because it double dips. Increasing the damage of Veneration increases its healing. Increasing the healing of Veneration will further increase its healing. So the 15% extra damage and healing that you get kind of actually double dips on Veneration, and then getting extra crit on everything else is very, very strong as well, helping you proc more Venerations, right? So if we just put our beacons out here, I'll just do this. I'll pop wings, and you can see, oh, I'm not close enough there. Is it healing them there? It's probably healing. I can't really tell right now. Let's see. Oh, I'm not close enough, I guess. Interesting. Well, I can't really show you the test there. That's too bad. If I throw it here, does it heal them? There we go. It finally procs. I don't know why it's taking so long. There we go. You can see the heals popping there. So there's a lot of healing going on there. And then if I actually get a crit from Flash of Light, it'll reset the cooldown of Hammer of Wrath, and I can throw it again. And then if you use enough spenders, I haven't used any spenders yet. Let's do this right here. Let me just get a bunch of spenders going. We can get an Awakening proc, right? And if you get an Awakening, bro, there's a proc on Hammer of Wrath right there. If you get an Awakening proc, then obviously you get to go back into wings. But another important part is that in order to get into the actual Awakening proc itself, you get to throw a Judgment that is guaranteed to crit, which is super good. Here comes our Awakening right here. Need one more stack, I think. Give me 1 second here. There we go. We've got our, wait, is it happened yet? We need 12, sorry. One more spender, guys. One more spender. Here we go. There's our spender. Now, I can throw Hammer of Wrath over here. Right there, I'm going to throw it, and then I'm going to throw my Judgment. It's guaranteed to crit, which is going to give me another Hammer of Wrath charge, and of course also puts me into wings, which lets me throw more Hammer of Wraths, okay? And unfortunately, none of it is showing, of course, here because I wasn't close enough to the mobs. But if we look at the dungeons that I've been doing, and just for reference, I've done a bunch of +8s already. 1, 2, 3, we've done 4 of them. We're going to get more +8s done tonight. But just for reference, you can see over the course of an entire dungeon, my Veneration is my top. It's my 3rd highest heal. Okay, 3rd highest heal. That is not even including the healing that this produces goes into my beacons. So I have Beacon of Faith for almost all of these dungeons, but you can combo this with a Beacon of Virtue, and it's like Wings, Beacon of Virtue, Hammer of Wrath, and that is gonna just absolutely turbo heal your entire group. I'm telling you, it's really strong. Here's a +8 Brackenhide I did. Also, my top 3 heal there as well. There's a +2. This doesn't really matter, but I wish I had more of the... there's a Not Good Offensive. You can see, again, Veneration, my 2nd highest heal right there. If we go back again, look at the Niltheris, my 3rd highest heal doing 12.4%. And then the Brackenhide +8, it is my 3rd highest heal doing 11.4%. So there's so many good reasons to take this talent, okay? On top of all the healing that it's doing, it also pumps a bunch of damage. And you can see Hammer of Wrath ends up being my 2nd highest damage in this dungeon in the +6, I think. It was close to being that as well. It's my 2nd highest damage once again, almost tied for 1st, really. It's actually very, very close. So the reason that it's so good, it gives you the extra damage. It gives you another cooldown, essentially. Having 2 charges of Hammer of Wrath is just as good as having some of your other cooldown. It's like a mini cooldown, not quite as insane. It's like having basically Hand of Divinity or having a couple of Divine Favors in a row. It's really that strong. I'm not kidding. It is incredibly strong how good this is. And on top of all the healing and damage that it's doing for you, it is incredibly cheap to cast this spell. This costs 1,500 mana, okay? So to get this much healing out of a spell that only costs 1,500 mana, it's the same as Crusader Strike. Those are your cheapest buttons, period. Holy Shock 7,000, Tears is 6,000, Divine Toll 7,500. Your Word of Glory is still 3,000 mana, and the Holy Power Judgment is 6,000. So it's very, very cheap, much, much cheaper than like a Flash Heal, right? 9,000 on Flash Heal. So it's incredibly cheap. It's going to improve your damage, and it's going to do crazy amounts of healing. It's going to triple dip during Wings, and it's going to push all of its healing into your beacons that you have active when you throw it. So the efficiency of pressing like 1 Hammer of Wrath is so crazy. If you take Vanguard's momentum, which you absolutely should if you're going to run this build, then you get an extra charge of it, and it also generates extra holy power in Execute. On top of the fact that it already generates 1 holy power on its own, if it already didn't do enough things, it gives you 1 holy power. It's now going to give you 2 holy power when you're inside of the Hammer of Wrath, the Execute window, okay? So I would highly recommend that you take Veneration in your Mythic Plus keys. I even ran it in Raid. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I did a bunch of dungeons since Raid. I don't have that for it. I'm very sorry, but I ran it in Raid and it was actually really, really good. The only thing you have to do is, of course, drop a talent in the bottom section of the tree. In my mind, you always have to take Daybreak with Rising Sunlight. I think you always have to take Glorious Dawn, and you always have to take Awakening. So I dropped Tears Deliverance. The bonus on Tears Deliverance is what I dropped. The only other one you could drop is potentially Wings, and then you could take Tears Deliverance. Remember, this Wings only gives you 15% more crit. We already have insane amounts of crit. Look at my crit is out of control, right? It's already really strong. I am using a red pot, but like our secondary stats are going to scale really hard. So maybe if you really like Boundless Salvation, you could drop the extra Wings if you wanted to. That's the option that you basically have there, okay? You either choose between this and this, or you could maybe take Inflorescence if you really wanted. There's one choice note to juggle around there. My argument against Tears Deliverance is this. My Tears Deliverance didn't overheal that much because it wasn't active as much as, you know, a normal Tears Deliverance is if you have the extension from Boundless Salvation. My only argument would be here that I think Tears Deliverance actually overheals quite a bit. And obviously, again, mine is not overhealing because it's not active for as much as what yours is probably active for. My argument would be that like having a 40 to 60 second like Tears Deliverance window, there's no fight in Mythic Plus that really lasts like for that long where you're going to need consistent HPS. You're going to be overhealing at least probably 40% of that. So in my mind, having the on-demand healing more so from Hammer of Wrath, where it chunks somebody and crits them and then heals your group really hard and then goes into your beacon, I think that to me has been more valuable than having the really long outstretched, Tears Deliverance healing. I'm not saying this is bad. Do not mistake me. This is a very, very good talent. It's good to have Tears Deliverance. It's good to have Boundless Salvation. In my experience, having it extend for like 40 to 60 seconds, that last, you know, 20, 25 seconds, a lot of that is just overhealing. And I would rather have this to pump my HPS and my damage when I really need it. Okay, so I would highly encourage all of you to mess around with Veneration. Please give it a shot. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. If you really still want to stick with the Tears of Deliverance thing, you can. Just drop your crit from wings, because you probably already have 40 to 50% crit anyway without wings. And remember, your Judgment and Holy Shock get 8% more crit anyway. So you're really, my Judgment and my Holy Shock are sitting at 53% crit without wings at all. So I promise you can probably drop this and keep your Boundless Elevation if you really want to do it that way. But please, I would highly encourage you guys to check out Veneration. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. It has really performed very, very well for me. And it has filled in kind of that gap of needing a little mini cooldown. It's almost up all the time. You get to throw it all the time. You get Awakening procs with the free Judgment, which gives you a Hammer of Wrath charge. You have regular wings, which you can throw Hammer of Wrath anytime. You have regular execute windows where there's a mob that's just low on health. You can just snipe them with a Hammer of Wrath. And again, you're contributing extra damage, and it's going to heal for a lot more than I think you think it will. I promise you, this thing actually hits really, really hard. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I would highly encourage you all to play with this. And yeah, let me know how you're going. If you're playing Holy Paladin in Season 4, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I'm pushing keys this week. I got a couple of keys that I got to get up to the 9 mark, hopefully up to 10 really, really soon. And yeah, we're going to be pumping. I've been playing a lot of Frost DK, jumping back and forth, so I haven't had tons of time to get these keys where I want them to be, but I will very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I love y'all. I will see you in the next one.